The crystalline halls of the Galactic Council chambers had never witnessed such a moment of triumph for the Zetherian Empire. Admiral Kextar's forearms spread wide in victory as he addressed the assembled delegates, his chitinous exoskeleton gleaming under the artificial suns that illuminated the vast dome. "The human worlds have fallen," Kextar announced, his translator converting his clicking speech into a dozen languages simultaneously. "Earth burns. Mars is silent. The Jupiter colonies drift as dead metal in space. Humanity's military might, once thought formidable, has been crushed beneath the superior technology of the Empire. The various alien species that made up the Council erupted in a mixture of celebration and nervous relief. The Zetherians had been the dominant force in the galaxy for 3 millennia, but humanity's rapid expansion and technological innovation had threatened their supremacy for the past century. Now it seemed that threat was ended. Riza Chen sat motionless in the human diplomatic section, her dark eyes fixed on the Admiral. The young woman appeared small and fragile compared to the towering alien forms around her, but she remained perfectly composed despite being the sole surviving human representative in a chamber full of species that had either supported or remained silent during humanity's destruction. "The human pestilence is eradicated," continued Kextar, his mandibles clicking with satisfaction. "Their aggressive expansion across our sacred territories, their disruptive influence on established trade routes, their barbaric customs, all of it ends today. The galaxy returns to proper order under Zetherian guidance." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the assembly. The Thorian delegates with their flowing tentacles swayed in approval. The crystalline Vexani chimed harmoniously. Even the typically neutral Arctanian observers seemed pleased by this development. Admiral Kextar's compound eyes fixed on Riza. "Human diplomat," he said, his voice carrying across the chamber with amplified authority. "Your species fought well but primitively. You lack the wisdom of ages, the patience of true civilization. Your kind sought to spread across the stars like a virus, claiming worlds that belong to older, wiser races. Now you face extinction. Do you have any final words before we formalize the dissolution of human space?" Riza stood slowly, her movement deliberate and calm. She was young, barely 30 standard years, but she had been trained in the finest diplomatic corps Earth had ever produced. Her colleague Ana Okafor, who had served as the senior ambassador until the communications from Earth went dark, had taught her that sometimes the greatest strength lay in appearing weak until the crucial moment. "Honored members of the Galactic Council," Riza began, her voice clear and steady despite the circumstances. "I acknowledge that our military forces have been defeated. Our worlds lie in ruins. From a purely tactical perspective, it appears that humanity has indeed been conquered." Kextar's mandibles spread in what passed for a smile among his species. "At least you show wisdom in accepting reality, young human. Perhaps your species learned something in its final moments." Riza nodded respectfully. "We did learn something, Admiral. We learned that the Zetherian Empire makes the same mistake that many powerful civilizations have made throughout galactic history." She paused, allowing her words to settle in the suddenly quiet chamber. "You forgot rule number 1. The Admiral's compound eyes narrowed. "What rule?" "The first rule of human warfare," Riza said, her voice growing stronger. "Never assume you've won until you've counted all the humans." A ripple of confusion passed through the assembly. Kextar's exoskeleton darkened, a sign of irritation in his species. "Explain yourself, diplomat. Your military is broken. Your worlds are ash. What possible threat could—" His words were cut off as every communication device in the chamber activated simultaneously. The holographic display at the center of the dome flickered to life, showing a star map of the galaxy. Red dots, indicating Zetherian military positions, were scattered across hundreds of systems. But now blue indicators were appearing throughout the display, materializing behind enemy lines in supposedly secure systems, in the very heart of Zetherian space. Ana Okafor's face appeared in the hologram, transmitted from what appeared to be the bridge of a human vessel. The older woman's graying hair was pulled back in a military bun, and her expression was grimly satisfied. "Hello, Admiral Kextar," Ana said, her voice carrying clearly through the chamber's speakers. "I'm broadcasting from the bridge of the UES Resilience, currently in orbit around your homeworld of Zephyr Prime. I thought you might like to know that while you were busy destroying our decoy colonies and military installations, the real human fleet has been positioning itself throughout your empire. The star map updated again, showing the true scope of the human presence. They weren't just behind enemy lines, they were everywhere. Sleeper ships that had been dismissed as civilian evacuation vessels revealed themselves as military transports. Mining operations in asteroid fields powered up massive weapon platforms. Even some of the supposedly destroyed human colonies flickered back to life, their destruction revealed as elaborate holographic deceptions. Kekstar's forearms trembled with rage. Impossible. Our sensors showed. Your sensors showed exactly what we wanted them to show, Anna interrupted. Did you really think a species that went from wooden sailing ships to faster-than-light travel in less than 500 years would be defeated so easily? We've been preparing for this war since the day we joined the Galactic Council. Every human colony you thought you knew about was a facade. Every military base you destroyed was expendable. While you were congratulating yourselves on your easy victory, 50,000 human vessels were moving into position around every major Zetherian world. Riza smiled as she watched the chaos erupting in the chamber. The various alien delegates were frantically consulting their own intelligence networks, trying to understand how such a massive deception had been possible. You see, Admiral, Riza said, her voice cutting through the noise, humans learned something very important during our early wars on Earth. The enemy you can see is rarely the enemy you should fear. We've spent decades perfecting the art of making you think you were fighting our main force while our real strength remained hidden. The holographic display showed Anna again. Admiral Kekstar, you have exactly 1 hour to begin withdrawing all Zetherian forces from human space and to surrender for war crimes. If you refuse, every Zetherian world will discover what human desperation really looks like. And trust me, you won't enjoy the lesson. The chamber fell silent except for the clicking of Kekstar's agitated mandibles. The most powerful military force in the galaxy had just discovered they had been outmaneuvered by a species they considered primitive. Riza straightened her diplomatic jacket and looked directly at the Admiral. Rule number 1, Admiral. There are always more humans than you think, and they're never where you expect them to be. Perhaps next time you'll remember to count more carefully before declaring victory. The Galactic Council would later mark this moment as the beginning of humanity's true emergence. As a major galactic power, not through conquest, but through the kind of strategic thinking that reminded everyone why humans had earned their reputation as the galaxy's most unpredictable species.